You're trying to lose weight, you're trying to make more money, you're trying to improve your life, and it's just not happening. What's going on? Because like when I was younger, this was easy. And like, yeah, I know there's metabolism and I know that there's more energy at that time, but something is not happening the way I wanted it to. And it's like, it feels like I'm doing what I normally do and I'm still not seeing my muscles respond. I'm not getting the energy that I want. Like when I work out, I get more tired instead of gain more energy. Like what's all about that? And then, foods are responding differently to me. I feel like I get more bloating now and I'm reacting differently and I'm not achieving my goal. And so when you have grown up in an abusive home, there are different motivators and you do things for different reasons. And then so you go through that awareness where you find out like, wow, you realize that you have come from a very abusive home. That's one thing. And then you start realizing who the people are in your life and how toxic they really were. And then you go through this this change and shift in spiritual beliefs, acknowledging people are who people aren't who you thought they were. This is seeing people's true colors, and all these things hit you like a ton of bricks and you fall into depression. And now you're exhausted, and you know what? The only thing that you got time for is chocolate bar, ice cream, croissants, pizza. You're too tired to cook, and you're like, you know what? Just for a little while longer, and you realize it's been like months of eating fast food, months of putting back coffee, because the more junk food you eat, the more tired you get, and you just can't understand what is going on. You're needing to release emotions. You're needing to come to a more concrete insight as to who these people are. And so when you're staying stuck and you don't have the energy to get up, part of that is happening for you so that you can see the cycles that you were in, why you were in them, and how those people were actually treating you. And not only that, but it's to learn how to change our behavior so we don't fall back into those patterns. And so now moving forward, it might have been easy for you to work out because the motivation could have been having a glow up, making your ex, jealous and trying to prove other people wrong. But those are all based on ego. And so when you're going to work out now moving forward, it comes from the ideas for self-love, and not because your kids need it from you, but because you deserve it. And so when you transition through those reasons of why you're doing something, it becomes more challenging, because if this is what what you grew up with, that was your patterning. And so maybe you had to be an overachiever because that's the only way you would get attention. Well, now you don't want attention from those types of people. So now how do you get your motivation? You need to find out like why your health is happening the way it is, and why you're always tired, and why you're attracted to those certain toxic substances and people. And so when you learn the whys of it and you keep pulling that string and asking more questions, you get closer and closer to the results. And so the reason why you don't have the energy right now or the ability to make that change is because you're meant to gain information first, so that, because we know as soon as you get up, you're going to be up. And as soon as you know what you got to do, you're going to be moving. But sometimes that happens too prematurely, because we think, well, this is okay. I got more information. Now I can move. But what you're meant to do is like gain more information all the way here in order to make a move with all that information. Not just like when we pull the string, you pull the string and then you move. But you're meant to see what's at the end of that string. And that process is moving through the information, getting in touch with your intuition, becoming more discerning, and developing discipline because you know you deserve it, and not because that's what the society tells you is the expectation, and not because your kids need it for you. While that is a great motivator, it really needs to come for you. And in order to develop true self-love, you have to develop it because of you. The motivator, the reason has to come from you. Otherwise, it's outside sources and it's just a temporary energy hike, and it's not a prolonged effect, which creates consistency. And you have to be able to say, just because it's snowing out there and everyone else is comfortable sitting inside, I still have to go do my walk today. And even if you tell yourself, well, it won't matter if I skip one day because I'm just walking, that's not the point. You know that it's the activity and the movement that is going to get you going. And it's when you make excuses, you know that's what keeps you stuck. So you need to get to that extreme realization of, I have to do this because if I don't do this, I can't achieve that. And so like you need to get to a point where you no longer are making excuses for other people and you're no longer making excuses for yourself. And then your energy will start returning because you're making better decisions for better reasons. And that's where you develop this self-love, and that's where you're going to get results. For more information on this, feel free to like, follow, and share, and feel free to comment. I'd love to hear from you in the comment section. Thanks for watching. Take care.